I look around us, and you know what I see? Losers. I mean, like, folks who have lost stuff. And we have, man. We have, all of us, homes, and our families, normal lives. And you think life takes more than it gives, but not today. Today, it's giving us something. It is giving us a chance to do what? To give a poop for once and not run away. I am for one not going to stand by and watch as Ronan wipes out billions of innocent lives. Quill, stopping Ronan, it's impossible. You're asking us to die. Yeah, I guess I am. Quill, I have lived most of my life surrounded by my enemies. I will be grateful to die among my friends. You're an honorable man, Quill. I will fight beside you, and in the end, I will see my wife and daughter again. I am Groot. What the hell? I don't got that long a lifespan anyway. Well, now I'm standing. Happy? We're all standing now. Bunch of jackasses standing in a circle.
Man, I felt that, you know? Right?
Being called a jackass?
Yeah.
Hey, it's not the first time, and it won't be the last.
Well, at least it was like with your friends, you know? And it's your friends that are calling you that, so I don't know. It's just different. But that is which Guardians? Is that the first or second one?
It's the first one.
The first one. I need to rewatch that one. It's been a hot minute since I've seen it. I've seen the second
Currently streaming on the Disney Plus.
I need to watch it again because it's been a hot minute. I've seen the second one many times. And we'll get to the third one in just a moment. But anyways, welcome back to yet another episode of Bump That. Bump That episode 107. If you don't know who we are, we've got Brian in this corner.
I have a question. Why is Gamora?
We've got KT in this corner.
Ain't no thing like me, except me.
And I'm Ileana, your host, and we are siblings who have a love for all things nerdy, video games, movies, TV shows, and decided to talk about it on the internet with all of you people, and here you are listening. So, welcome! We've got quite a show for you guys today, just like always. A lot of movie news, a lot of movie updates, and, or not, maybe not updates, but reviews, I would say, maybe. But let's go ahead and get into some of it. The writers strike again. Writers in Hollywood are on strike, which has major implications for our favorite shows and movies. So, what are they striking against? And
they want higher pay, a stable pay structure,
so fair. Everybody else.
Yeah, fair deals and contracts. That's the majority of what I've heard, and a lot of.
They want to get in on that streaming action, too, that streaming money.
Yeah.
And some people, I don't know what this has to do with anything, but there's talk of people being worried about AI, something about AI, and coming up with their own scripts.
Man.
I don't even know. So that part goes over my head.
Pretty much Hollywood is like, look, we just grab this AI, we give him some, like, common themes or something, characters, they plug it in, beep boop doop doop doop. My friends, this will be the new invention that will change lives. This contraption will tell us a story and create a script. No longer do we need humans who have to take dumps or ask for lunch or need health care.
The thing about AI is that it's so lifeless, you can tell it's not human made. Like, it's very programmed, it looks off. Like, if you've ever seen commercials made by AI or something, or some AI generated images, they're off. You know, they're not quite there.
They're getting better right. Every day, though. Every day they're getting better.
But they're still not going to have the heart behind it, you know? Like, they will still not have that feeling.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Robots have lives, too, okay?
Robot lives matter.
Listen, I sent you to that picture of what I thought was the new Stitch and about had a heart attack, but no, that was AI generated. So,
See,
But no,
they're
the
getting
thing
better,
is
man.
that it was horrible. So it wasn't. It didn't look good. It's not that it was like, oh yeah, that could
that's my
definitely
point.
pass
That's my
as
point.
like Disney. It was like,
Hey,
if
when
that's what you're
God
going
created
for,
mankind, was it good when He first created it? Yes. Okay. All right. Well, shut up.
as I was saying, yes.
What?
Anyways, moving on from that. So I feel bad for them that they don't want to be replaced, that they do need higher pay. I mean, so does everybody else in the world. Inflation has just made such an impact. And we'll get into that in the chunk, so stick around. But moving on, Yellowstone will be ending soon after Kevin Costner's, or is it Costner?
Costner, dude.
Or Costner.
Yeah, I mean, what the heck, bro?
Yeah, it's like the T is silent, just Costner.
But there's no N in what you wrote.
Oh, pardon me.
Hey, I go off of the thing, and sometimes when I hear words, I'm like, are they saying it like
Let me see. We have Kevin Costner.
Coster?
Well, it says Coster. Okay, how's that my fault?
It's
You should
French
know who he
Kevin
is.
That's why I was confused. I
Costner.
thought it was Costner, and so I was like, that says Coster?
Oh,
Have I been
lordy
saying
Lou.
it wrong?
Oh my god.
Anyways, there's some allegations. What are those allegations?
I'm not
wants
even
out.
quite. Well,
He
yeah,
wants
but
out. Yeah, he wants out.
he wants out. But he's saying as of yesterday, was it May 9th? He's saying that he will return if he can leave on his own terms in his character. He doesn't want it to just be killed off or fade out into obscurity. So he does want his character to go out his way.
Yeah. Can I just say real quick? This is completely irrelevant. I'm sorry, but speaking of like fading out characters, we'll get to the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in a moment, but watching the trailer for the new Indiana Jones film,
Okay.
I cried.
You watch yourself. You be okay. That's fine.
I cried. Truly, because this is his last film as Indy. As far as we know, that seems like that's what is truth.
Yes.
And to see him so old now, I cried. I literally got emotional because that was such a impactful character growing up, and to see him how he is now, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so old, and who knows how much longer we have with him as an actor. I cried, and Hunter's like, are you crying? I'm like, it's Harrison Ford. He's up there. He's doing the thing. And then the music played, and I'm getting emotional again. But the music played, I'm like, you know, it was just so.
You know what's cool about that trailer is that they have there's shots of there's like a flashback of him when he was young.
Yes.
And I mean they spent a ton of money because it looks really good. He looks just like classic 80s Harrison Ford.
Yes.
And then
they had to have been using that Star Wars stuff because Star Wars did it too, where they made young Leia, young Luke again. So they've had to like use.
No, but that's different because that's actually Harrison Ford acting out the role. It's like The Irishman where they had like De Niro and they made him look like he was 40 again.
Well, it almost looks like they did the facial replacement. Like they had an actor that maybe it was Harrison.
Oh, it's Harrison. Yeah, all the way.
And then maybe they just did like a face cover.
Yeah,
on him.
they just de-aged the face. Pretty much.
Oh, that whole trailer just had me like, oh, sad, but happy sad, you know. Anyways, I know that was the.
Yeah, but Kevin Costner, Yellowstone. The show's borderline soap opera Dallas now.
But people loved it. It was raving everywhere.
It was the #1 show on television for a couple years.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Highest rated.
I mean, same thing happened with like Walking Dead. Remember when that was like everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, yes. Walking Dead!" And now like
Game of Thrones.
The past 4 or 5 years, it was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the worst show ever," you know. And
But Game of Thrones had the same thing as well happen. Like, they were huge. It was
That
big.
was hyped.
And
that was overly hyped.
even, like, people who I wouldn't say are very, like, nerdy or into any, like, big TV shows like that or anything were like, yeah, Yellowstone, that's so good. I love watching Yellowstone when I get home at night. So, for that to be, I don't know, this character leaving who is such a big, important role, it doesn't bode well for the show.
Yeah, Kevin, man, you know he's gonna do some stuff. So.
Yeah. But anyways, moving on. Warner Bros. Says Hogwarts Legacy has profited over $1 billion, billion, and it hasn't even launched on the Switch yet. Okay, so it's all Xbox, right? Or
it's on. It just actually got released on PS4 this past week, actually.
Okay,
no.
So
Yes.
This past week.
We have it on the Xbox.
Yeah, it
So
went
Xbox
first to
PC?
PS5 to the new Xbox.
Oh, okay, I see what you
and
mean.
just
Yeah.
this past week, it went
PS4
to PS4.
Okay,
I see what you mean.
So it's on those consoles. To put it in perspective, GTA is that 5?
Yes.
Yeah. GTA 5 has profited $7 billion, $7 billion since its release in 2013. So that's a long flipping time ago, and $7 billion. And already this game came out.
It came out February 7th.
Okay,
and
February. And that's whoa.
Yeah, and it's sold 15 million copies.
That's insane.
Yeah, since then, that's serious money.
And that's even funny because there was such backlash about people buying the game because of J.K. Rowling being a part of it or not being a part of it or whatever. And people are like, don't buy the game because J.K. is racist or J.K. is, phobic.
She's a bigot.
Yeah, she's a bigot. She's phobic of insert name, So it could have even made more, $2 billion by now if those people had also, seen that JK wasn't even part of it and decided to support the team that made the game. But because of those people,
I think what I've seen, the game is really well made, generally speaking,
beautiful.
for the most part. You get to make your own character and you get to explore Hogwarts in a way there hasn't been an acceptable Harry Potter game. This is probably the best.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Lego Harry Potter.
Lego Harry Potter. I have 3 copies of that game.
It's actually really good.
It's made really well.
Playing that on the Wii?
Yeah.
I have it on the Wii, the PlayStation 4, and my Switch.
It is such a fun game. I'm not even joking. I don't really care for the Lego games much, but that one, and I'm not even a Harry Potter fan. I watch Harry Potter, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan, okay? Because that would imply that I've seen all the movies, I know all the characters. I haven't seen all the movies. I don't know all the characters. I haven't. I know.
There were books at one point,
I haven't read the books, so
oh man,
I wouldn't say I'm a fan at all. I like it, but the Lego game, playing as Fang, what's his name? Hagrid? Hagrid's dog. That was awesome. I got to play as Fang. That was fun.
Oh my.
But no, to see that game is doing so well, I'm glad because of all the backlash that they got, and it's like, gosh, shut up, They're hardworking people behind this game who put their blood, sweat, and tears into it, that poured out their passion in this project, and they should be recognized for it. It's a wonderful game. I watched Hunter play it, and it looks beautiful. I know a lot of people are like, oh gosh, the worst thing about it is Revelio, just going left and right.
Dang, that sounds really good. I
doing that the whole time.
Right,
but no, it deserves the.
Like some garlic bread on the side, bro.
That's ravioli.
Oh man, and those numbers are really going to shoot up after this when it comes out on the Switch. I'm getting my copy on the Switch because I get everything on the Switch, and yeah, it's just going to be amazing. Like by the end of this year. Oh, and holiday season. Oh
Uh-huh.
my.
Well,
But do you think it'll catch up to that GTA number?
If they keep up the live service, then yeah. Oh yeah.
You think so?
And yeah, and they have
You want to put some money on it?
no.
that would be bump that in 5 years.
Hey, I'll give you.
We'll see you there.
I'll give you
Bump that
5
will
to
be
1 odds.
there. What'd you say, Brian?
I'll give you 5 to 1 odds.
5 to 1 odds.
Okay, 10 to
No.
1. But that's my last offer. No, I'm joking.
I don't bet with you since we bet years ago on how much money the Simpsons movie was gonna make, and I lost. So no. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I don't remember the specifics of the bet, but I know that I just slapped you across the face so hard.
You
with that
did.
bet, dude.
You did. I didn't think I was young and stupid, and I didn't think that it was gonna make $150 million. And you're like, you dummy head. Of course it is. And it did, and I lost the bet. So I don't bet with you. I don't want to play with you no more. Taking my ball and going home. So yeah, no more betting. And so yeah, when I get it, I'll talk about it because you know I'm all about those games and talking about them.
Yeah, Hunter's got it, and he's enjoyed himself playing it. So
Speaking of games, really quick. Today is Wednesday, May the 10th. In 2 days, my dudes, Tears of the Kingdom comes out.
Woohoo!
And if you
serious?
Yeah,
yes,
man.
I know Brian is so
Why
happy
would they
about
release that
this.
garbage right in the middle of May in the summertime? I don't understand.
Because
What's the point?
everybody that is a child or a teacher that likes video games will have that summer off to play the game. Whoa, that's gonna
Hey,
be
you
the
guys need to
entire
go
summer.
outside, get some fresh air. That's
No!
the real breath of the wild for you.
Bump
Okay?
that!
No way,
And it's called
bruh.
Tears of the Kingdom. Fool.
Yes, Tears of the Kingdom. And so, I will have to. I'm kind of bummed. I was talking about it with my buddy Daniel today. I'm kind of bummed that I agreed to do a field day. I have to go to Lula Elementary School, and so I won't be able to play all day like I want to. You know, like a couch potato. But I know,
Just swearing to yourself, freaking kids.
I know.
Field day.
For the kid, it's for the kids.
We already had ours, so you know.
Hope you enjoy your sack race.
But anyway, speaking of Nintendo, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa.
Oh my gosh.
Nailed
I said
it.
it right.
Shuntaro Furukawa.
Okay, that's what I
Furukawa.
said.
You can call me Shinty.
It's Shuntaro.
Shun. Yeah, there it is. There it
Oh,
is.
Shunty.
Furukawa. That's exactly what I said. I mean,
Oh.
said it slowly, but shut up. Because I didn't want to mispronounce it. Back off. Yeah, put that down. Anyways, says there's no plans to unveil a new console this upcoming year in 2023. This comes after Nintendo reports a 22% drop in Switch sales holiday season of 2022.
Ooh, burn!
That's because we all already have one.
Yeah,
Who's buying another?
I would if they would release a pro version.
Well, but they won't, and that's fine.
They won't.
But
Man. They're not
otherwise,
going
everybody already
to
has
because they
one.
don't care.
What do you mean they don't care? Yes, they do. It's
That's
their
not
flagship. It's their flagship console right now.
They're already
putting.
saying. It is say in 2024 there's gonna be a whole new thing. Isn't that what it is?
No. They're saying that there's not. That's what we just said. That there's no talk of a new console.
Okay.
So no.
So this is it for the next 10 years.
The Switch is
No.
still going strong. While sales are not going up, we already have the Switch. Everybody already has one. Everyone and their grandmother either has the regular Switch, the OLED, or the little
Switch
one
Lite.
The
The
Switch
Switch Lite.
Lite. So everybody already freaking has one now. So they're not going to be buying new ones. I don't know why anyone would be buying new ones. You're just going to... The games are selling. So obviously people are still playing the games, are still using the Switch.
They're putting out a major AAA game in 2 days.
So they'll see
Um,
that the Switch is still alive because the fans are still there. They're still buying, not the Switch because we already have it.
yes. So a lot of people on the internet I've been seeing are like, oh well, Nintendo they're sucking butt right now because they don't have an update. They don't have a console coming out. Well, give them time. Like, enjoy your console right now. Enjoy your games. Play Tears of the Kingdom. And then in the meantime, just wait for
Yeah,
some. I don't think you should rush it. Don't
they
rush
know
it.
exactly that they're gonna hate having to move all their stuff over to a new console. They're gonna have to, backwards compatibility every single thing again, and they hated doing that with the Wii U and over to the Switch and back and forth. Was it gonna be compatible? Yes or no? So it's like, while it doesn't need to be, enjoy it. Enjoy that it's not a stressful thing right now about the Nintendo Online, backwards compatibility, whatever. So shut up, eat your cereal, like be quiet.
Yeah. So, and whatever console they come out with, it's probably not going to come out until at least 2025, if I had to guess.
And it's like,
2025.
they did the OLED, but it's still not a huge upgrade from the regular base Switch. So I wonder what they'll do. Will they release the Switch Pro? Because otherwise, they have to come up with a new gimmick, and they can't go backwards with it being okay. We have the handheld, we have the home console all in one. They can't just go back to being hand console or
Hmm.
home console or
Yeah,
hand or home. They cannot go back to separating the two. They have to now keep it combined because that's what we've gotten so used to.
unless they choose to really give the consumer lots of options, and sort of like what they did with the PS5, where you have two versions of the PS5. You have the one with the drive and the one without, where you could have a Switch that is not sort of like the Switch Lite, where you can't dock it,
Uh huh.
or
Or take out the
having
Joy-Cons.
right, or having the kind that you do dock. In addition to that, you have that as like the base model, and then you on top of that you have a Pro, whatever it is. But each thing is a step above what we have right now, like
Right. That's the
graphics,
only thing that needs to
batteries.
be
Yeah.
done now.
Um.
That's the only thing that can be done
Well.
right now.
Well. I mean, I've said this before. Having internet capabilities. Uh. The Switch is basically a tablet. So
Yeah.
if you added Netflix, Disney Plus, or I guarantee you that because Disney, or excuse me, Nintendo and Illumination have such a good relationship right now, you could maybe see Peacock come on to the Nintendo Switch. I mean, that would be part of a pro model.
That would just be the Pro model. It would not be a new console name and new console gimmick. It's just the
It
step
could
up.
they could call it whatever they want, and we
I
could
don't think
see.
they would make a huge change though. They wouldn't make that huge leap. Like they would still keep it the tablet. They wouldn't. I heard people talking like, "Oh, their next step would be, AR or VR," and it's like, no, I don't think
No,
they'll do
no.
that.
If they did, that would be like Labo.
Yeah, and I don't think a whole lot of their core people would be interested in that. I wouldn't. I certainly
No.
wouldn't. I'm
The
not
way
interested in VR at all.
No, the way that I see it, it would be like a jump from the Wii to the Wii U. Similar
Right.
name, very different concepts though. Very different concepts. So, I don't know, but whatever happens, we're not going to see anything till 2025. So, place your bets.
I'm thinking more it would be like a upgrade from the DS to the 3DS. Same thing,
Mm,
just a little bit upgraded.
yeah, okay, I can see that.
That's
I can see
all I
that.
would see is that it is literally a pro. It has
Hmm.
internet capability. It has all the apps on it instead this time, and there's a lot more option. Yada yada.
They
Longer
would
battery life. Oops. Um, just
they would probably call it something different though. Well, I mean, obviously, but not anything related to the
They'll
Switch.
start doing the stupid crap that PS and PlayStation and Xbox does, where it's like a letter and a number or something.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
the Switch Y, the Switch W,
Oh
the
my goodness.
Switch 4. Something stupid like that.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
they did
no.
that, that'd just be like, oh gosh, come on. But anyways, let's keep moving on. Weird news for you. Whoopi Goldberg is writing a comic book around a menopausal superhero. Why?
Just why?
Those
Why do we
women
need
out
more?
there need someone to look up to.
Oh my gosh. And it's being published by Dark Horse, which Dark Horse, what are you doing? Joel? What are you doing? You're right, Jesus. We need to be throwing a party for you, not ourselves. But no, Dark Horse, what are you doing? I didn't know, nor did I care, that Whoopi Goldberg was a comic book fan, but it's going to be about this superhero who is older and is having menopause, and is, let's see.
Wait, I can melt the ice with my hot flashes. Just wait.
Oh my gosh!
Stop.
No, this
I hate
this
it.
no this is a quote. This is a quote. Goldberg decided it was. This is from Dark Horse. Goldberg decided it was time to create a new kind of superhero, one who might be a little older, whose body might be a little thicker, and whose breasts may or may not be the same size.
Oh my god!
Wouldn't you love to see this adapted into a movie?
No.
Wouldn't you just love that?
I'm sorry, that sounds really stupid.
Oh my god. It's supposed to be released at the end of November of this year. Wow. Oh, and it's going to be very, very, very left wing.
No kidding. It's Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm just delivering the facts, okay?
Anyways, I'm bored with her, so let's move on.
Let's move on.
All right, Robert De Niro becomes a dad again at the age of 79. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I think you know what it means. We can't say it on air, but I think you know what it means.
79?
Robert De Niro had sex with his significant other, probably a woman, and the woman gave birth to a child, so it's his youngest child.
What?
He has a child who's like 50 years old, and then his youngest child is now 0 years old. So there you go.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
Well, audience, what do you think about that?
So old man De Niro still got it in him. He still got that seed. So
I mean,
no, never say that again.
I'm
It's
glad
true.
there is this lovely baby on this planet now.
He has enough.
Life, that is an atrocity. I'm sorry.
He has enough energy to produce and fertilize a woman.
Yeah,
Stop
how many
it!
years does he have left in his life to see this child grow up?
Who is he, Nick Cannon?
Oh my. Stop. Nick Cannon and his 19 babies with stupid names.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, those names are absolutely
Oh, by the way, speaking of names, I heard that Elon Musk and what's her name changed their baby's name again.
Oh Lord, that poor child.
Elon Musk
And Grimes.
child name. They changed it.
Is it every letter in the alphabet?
Oh man, I'll have to look it up again.
Wow. All right. Well, let's just Robert. What are you doing? That is.
I think we know what he's doing.
Oh, I hate it. That's weird. It's gross. No, thank you. All right. Next, moving on. Beetlejuice 2 set for release in 2024. We already talked a little bit about this and how if we would be interested or not. I didn't really care for the first one. It wasn't my generation. It wasn't my time, so I watched it later on in life. I'm like, okay, I don't get the hype. Sorry.
So the hype with this one, I don't think it's Beetlejuice itself. I think it's more the fact that we have a cast that is going to be recognizable, especially with Jenna Ortega. Michael Keaton is returning as Beetlejuice. Johnny Depp is going to be in it. Winona Ryder is also going to be in it because she was in the first one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tim Burton directing?
Let me see. I think he is.
Okay.
Let me see. Yep, Tim Burton.
The only remake. Oh wait, no, this isn't a remake. This is just
It's a part 2. It's a part 2.
A sequel.
I mean, honestly, it could be garbage and people are still going to see it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Justin Theroux is in it. If you like him,
Yeah,
I don't really care.
Him. Yeah.
The only thing that I'm looking forward to right now that's like a movie brought back from the past is Timothée Chalamet as
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Now, here's an observation that I just made. All right, so Gina Davis is returning.
Okay.
Brian, do you remember who was the spouse who played her spouse in the original?
Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. He is not in this.
Whoa, you're
No,
right.
yeah.
Ooh,
yucky.
That's what we call an Akko taco.
I've never used that phrase before.
I have.
But...
I go Akko taco. Walk away.
I don't know. I don't know why he's not in it. Maybe it's just. I don't know if it's just because of they're afraid for their lives or something. But I mean,
they fear.
Oh my gosh.
But
they have.
I don't know.
Fear.
It's just the make or break for me isn't who's in the movie other than Michael Keaton. If Michael Keaton's in the movie, that's all that matters. Because, look, have you guys seen the Flash trailer? The Flash trailer is garbage until Michael Keaton comes on. No, until Michael Keaton comes on and he's like, yeah, I'm Batman. And then the classic Tim Burton Batman music, Batman 1989 music comes on. And then you're like, oh, man, yes.
But no.
yes.
And I'm glad you brought it up because I wanted to also discuss it. That movie is going to be bombed. It's going to be so bad.
I don't know. James Gunn, the director of Guardians, said it was incredible.
IMDb.
Our thing, Ezra Miller, who is a screw up, as the main flipping character.
Oh man,
okay, he's changed, man. He's grown up.
What?
Has he though?
Since when?
Has he?
Hey, he's going. He's doing better out there. Okay.
Maybe with maybe if he's being monitored daily. I don't know. All right, I don't know if this is just a number that's being placed there as a placeholder, but for the Flash, IMDb is giving it a 10 out of 10. I'm thinking that's a placeholder. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have anything yet. The movie comes out in June, so we'll see. Another movie that's coming out in June that I keep forgetting. The Elementals. Oh.
What?
Ooh.
Oh no, I was thinking Eternals, and I was like,
No.
I didn't even hear about that yet.
No. The Marvels.
Elementals. Yeah.
Elementals.
The Marvel ladies.
Yeah.
That one looks okay. I saw that in the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I was like,
No, I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting about Elementals.
So yeah, no. Seeing that trailer again, and Hunter looked over at me. He was like, shook his head, and I'm like, it doesn't look good. It looks bad.
We need to talk more again about Pixar. I had a hot take that I thought about it the other day.
But I love, Katie, how annoyed you always get with the mouth not matching up with the... It was so apparent in this trailer that I was like, I mean, usually I'm like, no, they do it, and I know they do it, and it's just kind of one of those things, those trailer things that's like, yeah, it happens, but this one, it stuck out, and it was awful, because, like, all the voice acting for it was like wow or ah, just weird sound effects and exclamations and the person's mouth wasn't even moving. I'm like, okay, that was just trash. I'm sorry. And it didn't sound good. Like the actor sounded horrible. So,
Why, Lord, take me now? Why do they do that? Okay, I'm not going to go down that rant. I'm not going to rant. What is next?
all right, so that is all the news, except this is the time for Brian and I to give our review of Guardians 3.
Okay, I have to step away because I haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
So just flag me down when you guys are ready.
All right. And anybody else who has not seen the movie yet, who does not want any spoilers,
We will be discussing spoilers.
we will. You need to leave the arena at this time. I'm giving you time to click off the video, and we're about to speak about what happened. Everybody's gone. If you saw the movie, you're here. Cool. Let's talk about it. Brian, you go first.
Okay. Guardians 3 is the best Marvel movie that I've seen in the longest time. It is classic Marvel movie. And here's one thing that I love about it is that James Gunn, the director, it's his movie. It's one thing that's really I like about it is that this movie isn't like they're not like next time on the next Marvel movie, we're going to be facing this. Or next time on the next Marvel movie, we're going to be introducing Captain America or Spider-Man or some other
I didn't even think
Infinity
about that.
Stone. And it's like, oh God, what a relief. This is like a standalone, on its own superhero movie with the Guardians. It's best if you know what's happened to them beforehand, before watching this film, to watch the sequels. I mean, the 1 and 2. But it doesn't really lend itself to like a bigger piece of the whole Marvel MCU.
And they fill you in too, because like obviously Gamora is a different Gamora. This is not the real one that Quill fell in love with because she died in Endgame. So this is a different one, but they make that very
Infinity
clear.
War. She died in Infinity War.
Oh, Infinity War. So they made it very clear though that that is what happened to her. So you didn't have to be like, asking your friend next to you, what happened to the other one? Like, they told you what happened.
Yeah. And the movie is also really weird. It's weird, and I love that about it. The more unique it sets itself apart from other movies,
Ooey
the
Gooey
better.
World. That Ooey Gooey World was awesome.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I loved it. Their suits, the humor in it was so good. I laughed.
Yes and no. I kind of had a sticking point with it because I felt like some parts of the humor were great, and then something like really dramatic or sad would happen, and then you have this kind of humor that's just like, oh, okay, yeah, shut up. I'm really trying to enjoy this sad moment right now.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But for the most part, across the board, the humor was excellent.
I'm glad that they had some humor right after the sad parts because it took me back out of it because I'm like, if they let me linger in this too long, I'm gonna sit here and sob the whole time. And it's a very fun movie while being sad at the same time. So
yeah, it's very bittersweet. The ending and the music that plays at the end is such a great song. Perfect new. I mean, if you're a millennial, you'll know this song, and you'll be like, yeah, this is a great song to actually end the movie, too. And and it'll make you want to stand up and dance, and that's awesome.
I wanted to dance with them. I was like, it was very bittersweet. It was like, okay, they're all going their separate ways now.
It's triumphant. They triumph.
Yes, it was still happy, Mantis with her 3 new tentacle friends. I absolutely love that. And seeing
Mantis
Drax
is so weird.
Mantis
such
is
a
awesome.
weird character.
But seeing Drax, also come to terms with, his family being gone, but now there's like these little kids there and he gets to be a father. That was great.
Dave Bautista, so underrated in everything he does.
That was I love his character so much.
Yeah.
But writing, wise for the film, I think they had it spot on. It might have been a little long for me. The movie felt
Yes.
a little bit long.
Yes. 2.5 hours long. That's right.
Yeah, and it just felt like I was like, okay, dang, when is this gonna end? I feel they haven't even defeated the bad guy yet. I forgot about him.
The third act, it's a big Marvel battle, a lot of CGI battle scenes.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the
Maybe the whole breaking into the Uyghur world place was kind of a longish.
and
Too.
I liked that. I think the new what was it, Counter Earth or something like that. That whole chunk took too long for me when they were at the house of the.
That's kind of right. That's kind of when the movie lulls a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, okay, let's get on with it. Let's go beat the.
And then
bad.
speaking of which, I thought it was messed up. So they go to the little goat people's house, you know, and then the goat people died, and they were just like, that was it.
Yeah.
They go to the goat lady's house. They're like, hey, don't lay down on the couch, you know. And then they take the guy's car.
Yeah.
But then they don't save any of them. They just die. I was like, what the heck, man?
Well, I mean, they couldn't. It was like the world was blowing up, their planet. So, what were they gonna do? They still had to go save everybody else. That was.
No, I love it. I love even the whole Counter Earth thing, though. The setting, just like it's supposed to be this perfect utopia.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird. It just I imagine it like being in a comic book like from the 70s, and they're like,
right.
We're just gonna draw these weird, freaky stuff of like people that are like Island of Dr. Moreau kind of stuff, like people that are animals that live in. And literally Atlanta, Georgia. They live in like some suburb in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like.
Exactly what it looks like.
The sadness of the film, gosh, it just
courtesy of Rocket Raccoon
punched you right in the chest. Like,
so, I mean, I heard that it was gonna be. It's a darker film.
Yes.
It has its moments. But yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. It was, and because they took it there. The one thing too, I want to make sure the animation that they did for the animal creatures in this film, the CGI is lately people have been slamming Marvel for like Marvel CGI is like with the Quantumania that it was not as good.
It started to look very fake, very too heavily edited.
Yeah. No, I don't know. They went out all the stops on this film because the CGI, the animals looked incredible.
I felt like I could go and touch them and they would be fuzzy and soft and they were real, like they had bones and things to them, like they had flesh. Like I could have gone and touched them and they were real.
Lila, the otter looked so smooth. Her fur looked so smooth. Rocket's fur as a little raccoon.
Floor too. She was this puffy little bunny, and I was like, I feel like I could just pick her up and hold her in my hands.
And then
the baby
walrus,
raccoons.
The walrus guy with this mustache, you could count like every single whisker.
Yeah, it looked incredible. The baby raccoons at the end, you just wanted to like hold them in your hands. The way they like chittered. Rocket's eyes looked incredible, even as like baby Rocket, little Rocket, when he's like being yelled at by what's his face, the stretch skin guy.
The High Evolutionary.
Yeah, he had like wet eyes and like you could just see the terror in his face or like the concern, and I'm like, this is not a real character. This object is not really there.
And that's why I called out Rocket Raccoon in last week's episode.
Yeah.
That he's one of the best non-human animated or performance capture characters. He's just terrific.
Well deserved, absolutely.
And the scene with Lila when she meets her end.
Yeah.
And it's just like so still and so quiet. It's just so you can hear a pin drop. And they're ready to go, and Rocket just stands there and he just lets out a wail of
Yeah.
despair, and
Bradley Cooper gave it his all.
I mean, just
And he wasn't even in the
bravo.
movie for the most of the time, you know? It, like, Rocket is unconscious, and you have Baby Rocket, but even though Bradley Cooper's actor wasn't there the whole time, he gave it his all. That scream, I felt that pain.
It was primal. It was everybody, and that's one thing I love about seeing movies in movie theaters too, because everybody in the audience was like,
It
everybody
was
was gut
silent.
punched. You could
You were
feel that.
tense.
You could feel that camaraderie in that
Yeah.
moment of like, this is just so sad. And then when he breaks loose and he just goes buck wild on the High Evolutionary,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, get him, get him, get him, get him, yes.
Oh, yeah, he
You know?
shredded his face up.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got to see it at the end. I'm glad they revealed what actually happened, because I was like,
Oh,
how did his
man.
face get so... Like, how did they reconstruct him? And it was like, oh,
Some of the best makeup. That's what I think I love about this movie too. This is such a nerds movie.
Yeah.
A nerds movie, because seeing makeup art done like that, I was like, oh dude, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It looks so good. It makes any of the makeup for any of the zombies and the Walking Dead look like pure garbage. Nothing. It was just like, that is so cool. It looked awesome. And
CGI, Drax, Mantis, the gold people, they look awesome.
I want to give a shout out though really quick. Because to the actor that played the High Evolutionary,
So
and
frightening.
I'm gonna massacre his name, and I apologize. Chuck Woody Iwuji. I believe he's a British Shakespearean actor,
Wow.
but I thought he was one of the best villains
Yes.
in a Marvel film
Because
in a long
he had
time.
such a weird, what do you call that? Drive. Like, his end goal was so odd, and it could never be satisfied. But he was also, like, likable in some moments when he's talking to Rocket and he's, being sweet to him when he's little. And then just completely flips the switch and it's evil, and you're like, oh my gosh, no, destroy that guy right now. How did you feel about the two twist deaths?
Was it
Rocket's death, and then being brought back, and then Quill's death, and then being brought back.
Oh, I almost thought too Drax died, because on Squishy Planet he gets shot like
Yeah.
really hard a couple times, and he's like, oh my gosh, Drax
He
is gonna
said,
die
"Run."
here in this part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how did you feel about, like, Quill's fake death?
I feel like, yeah, they went through that a couple times, because in the
Mhm.
first movie Quill saves Gamora's life by almost the same thing, and then in the second film, his Yondu
Yondu,
rescues
yeah.
him through the same way, and then so I was expecting it, because I thought going into the movie that a character wasn't going to make it, but I liked it. It was fine.
I'm
It
glad
didn't
that they all
bother me.
lived. I'm glad that they all lived. But the stakes were really high. It felt very pressured. I loved Nebula being part of the team. Loved her
Yes.
character. I love everybody. Groot got beefcakey at the end. That was awesome. Seeing him being completely grown, that was like, whoa, he looks awesome now. But no, the music was good. The character animation was good. The settings
Performances
were
were good. Everybody
Everything.
was great.
It was, and that's the interesting thing. I'm gonna go ahead and bring back Katie. She didn't see me give a thumbs up, but I'm giving thumbs up that she can come back. It's really interesting how Chris Pratt is going against himself right now in the box office. He is in Mario, and he is in Guardians, and that's like Pratt versus Pratt. He is just being the guy.
Hey man, I'm still a fan of Pratt. You know,
I
cheers
am
to
too.
Pratt.
We give him a
Cheers
lot of
to Pratt.
crap, but he's a phenomenal actor, and I love that two really big films of his are out right
I
now.
can't think of anybody. I can't think of anybody that could do the role the way
No.
he does. Absolutely no one.
So that
What'd I
was
miss?
Guardians. If you have not seen it yet, please go watch it. I don't know if it would be a child-friendly film. I
took my 2 children to see it. One is 10, the other is 7. I had to close the 7-year-old's eyes at one part at the end of the
Okay.
film.
Yeah,
But
with
she
the scary
said
guy.
she got a glimpse of it, and so
And she was
she's
fine.
no nightmares, so we should be
Okay.
good.
Well, and then there was the one F-bomb.
And
It
then
was so funny though.
but then my oldest daughter, Ella, 10-year-old, said it was the best movie she's ever seen, and it's her favorite.
That's awesome. I loved it. It was so much fun. Regardless of how sad it was fun.
Yes.
So it made me excited to go back to the movie theater.
Yes.
But yeah. Speaking of movie theaters, it is time for the chunk.
So chunky.
So, the discussion that Katie has for us today is, should movies track their success based on box office revenue or based on ticket sales? Something to consider. Concession prices, inflation, records, and numbers. Let's talk about it. Katie, you're the one who brings this up, so what do you think? What do you want to discuss about this?
So, what got me thinking about this was the success of the Super Mario Brothers movie and how it has grossed over $1 billion. And while they deserve every penny of that, regardless of what Brian says, it got me thinking about box office revenue. The way I see it, film is the only medium where its success is based upon how much money it's made. Am I correct in that, or am I missing something?
Yes, for some extent. I think some films too, if they're critically acclaimed, if they get a couple of Oscars in the bag, that can also spell at least a creative achievement. You know, not just box office wise.
But for the most part, it is judged on how much money it has made. Unless it's like an indie movie,
Yeah, so
you know. But
think of it like
but
Parasite, which won the Oscars like a few years ago. It's still that didn't make very much money at all, but it's still considered an achievement.
and even still, it's not based upon how many tickets were sold. How many people actually saw the movie? How many people actually paid to go see the movie? How much money did it make? When you go to a baseball game, it's not how much money did the stadium make. It was how many people are in attendance. When you go to even a theater, like to see a play, yeah, or a concert or a theater to see a play, how many tickets did you sell? How many people were seated there? How many people were in attendance? That is the success of it.
And I think that that's a little bit different because there are so many different showings of said film. Like there are multiple showings a day, multiple showings a week, and that's a little bit maybe harder to count because if you're looking at concert or a baseball game or whatever stadium game, that is that one occurrence, that one time, that one day. So I think that might be a little bit easier to track.
Not necessarily. Like if you look at theater shows, they also count how many performances that show ran for. Like
right,
if you
but
look
it
at
doesn't last months in.
it can like if what is it like Hamilton that
Okay.
was on Broadway for like a couple years. The same cast at least doing the performances like 1,000 times.
Right.
And then that kind of shows how popular it was. Or like The Lion King, you know, when that came out on Broadway back in the day, you know, there was one of the, or Phantom of the Opera, Cats. Those
Right.
shows had, you know, over 1,000 performances, and that
So
was
then, would that make
uh,
it
a
that
meter of their success.
would that make it then that you have to buy tickets online to get it counted, or would it have to be in-person sales, or could they do both and keep track of it that way? Because I'm thinking, gosh, that sounds a little bit complicated. I don't know. There's multiple showings a day, several times a day.
I mean, just keep track of both. Why not? You have when people go to a concert, you could buy tickets ahead of time, or when you get there, the price is increased a little bit. Even at sports events, the price is increased a little bit. Um, I I would think that that would be a better option to help deter the cost of everything else that you get when you go to a movie theater. For example, when you go to a baseball game, I hate to keep using that as an example, but it's just very relevant. When you go to a baseball game, you have days where you get a good deal, you can get inexpensive seating, and then the concessions cost a little more. But you don't have to get concessions. Obviously, you don't have to get concessions when you go see a movie, but it kind of offsets the cost a little bit where you have these days where you have deals. Now, some theaters they do give out I don't want to say deals, but with memberships. Brian, do you have a
The
membership?
one at Regal right now is that you can have it's 18.99 for a month of movies. So you're able to see as many movies as you want for 18.99.
Now, is that I don't I've seen that, but I actually don't know if it's per person
I
or per
think it's
family
two
or
people,
two people.
if
That's
I
a heck
remember
of a deal,
correctly.
actually.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's not that bad, especially if you go to the movies a lot. That's actually that pays for itself right away.
Right. So I think that I'm pretty sure that was for two people if I remember the Regal commercial correctly.
It's
But
almost a steal. I feel like,
yeah.
honestly.
But you know, if you're say you're a family of five, we are a family of five. There are five people in our family.
Yeah.
Um, so you would have that one person out that you would have to spend a little bit more money on. And you know, I think we were brought up a little bit different where we went to the movies pretty regularly. But
Yeah.
when you have those families that don't go to the movies regularly, and um, it's kind of a luxury thing, you're probably not going to have that option um, of having a package like that. So you're going to spend a lot more. You need to prepare for that.
And now, oh, sorry. What were you
Oh
gonna
no,
say?
you're good, bro. Go on.
And now there's a thing about charging more for seating,
Hmm.
or even
Which
you have to.
movie? That's even going down the pipeline too.
Yeah, well, they have the
Like
thing
a
now that
movie
you have
like
to reserve seats ahead of time if you're gonna
like
go
the
to like a Regal
Batman,
theater.
that the Bobby Pattinson one. That was they theaters raised their prices specifically for that film because they knew that
Wow.
people were going to go see the Batman rather than if they would go see Shotgun Wedding with Jennifer Lopez or something
Yeah,
like
so
that.
they're gonna say like the box office movies that are gonna be coming out, your Marvels, your Star Wars, your Pixar's, your Disney's, any of those uh, conglomerate movie picture film whatever thingies, those will be the ones that they raise the prices on instead of the horror films or like the kind of lighthearted goofy films that might not do as well. And I
and you and
it
you
makes
know
sense, but it's not something I want to pay for.
right, and that wouldn't be the only medium that would do that. College sports is terrible. In fact, football, college football, even pro football is so bad about inflating the prices depending on who's playing where.
Oh, of
So
course. Oh yeah.
So my husband Wesley, he's a diehard Georgia fan. When he bleeds red, but like his DNA is made up of little bulldogs instead of like instead of the helixes. They're little bulldogs. Anyway, so he was actually looking just last night for accommodations for not the South Carolina game, some game. He goes to a game a lot, and he travels, and he looks for ticket prices now in May, as well as accommodations, which those fluctuate, like crazy. But you can have a game go from, like, if they're playing a nobody, $25 a ticket for a pretty good seat,
Wow.
to literally like $1,000 for a
Yeah.
ticket for
Yes.
really good seating.
Insane.
So it is insane. It is insane. So I think, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm elderly. I don't know. But I think that we would face a lot less problems if we based it the success. If we're gonna judge numbers, let's not judge by box office revenue, which has to be adjusted for inflation all the time, and then you're just gonna have record after record after record. Instead, why don't you do it based on the total ticket sales that it accrues for the duration of the time that it is in a theater? And then when that happens, when you bring movies back, you can just add on to that total, and it's totally fair, as opposed to, oh, it's just moving up in the ranks just because more people saw it. It's that much more popular now, or it's that much more of a box office smash hit. It just makes sense to me. Any objections or ideas or thoughts, or no?
I don't know.
No.
It makes sense to me, but the movie theaters, like we have said before, are dying. They not it's a luxury now.
Oh
Whereas
yeah.
whereas it was very accessible to many people because of the prices and because it is not a high priority thing, and because of streaming services, there are many factors that have gone into the decline of movie theaters and moviegoers. So it's like you're gonna be increasing your prices, you're just not gonna get the people in.
So wait, I guess are you trying to Katie's point? Are you just trying to show that, look, Mario is actually more popular than what people give it credit for, compared to some other movie that made an amount of money, like a Jurassic Park or something? Is that what you're trying to say? Like,
No, not at all.
okay,
I'm saying that, okay, the Super Mario movie made over $1 billion.
okay,
How many tickets did it sell? Answer that question. Like, okay, you answer that question.
all right. So
Uh,
let's say that 20 million people saw Super
okay,
Mario.
okay. So when you judge that success, how many tickets did Toy Story 3 sell? How much money did Toy Story 3
Okay,
make?
so
Those are what? That's about 10 years difference?
that is, yeah. So let's say that back in 2009, Toy Story 3 sold 35 million tickets.
Okay, so
Okay.
there's my point. There's my
Yeah,
point.
I
Um
see it.
how do you just said we're not looking at the numbers, but according to what you just said,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Toy Story 3 had more people sitting in theaters watching it, as opposed to the Super Mario movie, which made over $1 billion, and it's getting all the accolades, which Toy Story 3 was a much better movie. It was made better, it's a better story,
Yeah.
it checks all the boxes. So, that's my point. Should we judge the success of the movie based on its revenue or seating? How many tickets did it sell?
I think both could definitely factor in. I don't know why we just have to
You know,
leave it up to
it's
one
a good.
factor. I think it'd
It's
be really good to see both side by side.
yeah. I mean, okay. So put it this way then. Let's see. Like, if you want to go down that avenue. So in 1977, Star Wars came out, okay? The original New Hope, that came out. Lines out the door to see Star Wars A New Hope, okay? It was in theaters forever, okay? Fast forward all the way to 1999. Phantom Menace comes into theaters, okay? Um, Again, lines, people camped out for days to be the first ones to see the new Star Wars movie. Um, it's like, so both were
And that
pretty
didn't
similar.
happen for the Mario movie.
It did not.
People
No.
were not camping out for days, but it has $1 billion under its wing.
Right, and it's breaking all kinds of records. But how do we really
So-
judge that? Is it because of inflation? Because the cost, the rising cost of how much it costs to go to a movie theater, or
So,
is it
I mean,
really?
You could say that, yeah, in 77, more people saw Star Wars than saw Super Mario.
Right.
Easily. Even though by that the numbers, Star Wars is probably like at $600 million. At least at that point, when it made money, it was at $600 million global worldwide. While Mario now, 40 years later, is at $1 billion worldwide.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Star Wars was much more popular, seeded film. You know,
Okay, because check this out. I'm getting this straight off the internet. I don't know how true this is, but I typed in Star Wars box office numbers adjusted for inflation. Are you ready for this?
okay.
1977, Episode 4, A New Hope, adjusted for inflation. I can't even. 1,849,905,133.
No, that's not. I think that's accumulation of 40 years
Yeah.
because it's been re-released a few times.
So here you go. NATO has long contended that the cost of the movies has remained relatively static when accounting for inflation, noting that the average ticket price of $2.23 in 1977 was roughly $9.26 when adjusting for inflation. So it was $2 back then to go see a film for one person, and adjusting for inflation, that would like equate $9.26. So how much are we paying now to go see a movie? It's like $11 for an adult.
Yeah, $10.
So, I mean, okay, even that is still much higher than what they're accounting for in inflation back in 77.
I tell you what. I mean, I could just like eyeball it. I mean, like Jurassic Park 92, 93. More people saw that movie than saw Super Mario. Easily.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
So here's another one, which I just saw the year, and it made me cry a little bit on the inside. Finding Nemo, which is literally 20 years old.
2003.
Oh my gosh.
I remember the night you guys saw it. I actually went to see Bruce Almighty instead. You guys went with Mother.
I saw Bruce Almighty with you.
No.
Yes.
No. Okay. Maybe you did.
I have my ticket stub.
Maybe you did, but I know for certain, for a fact, the night we all went, we all split up. Ileana went with Mother to go see Nemo, and I know I didn't see Finding Nemo in theaters. I saw Bruce Almighty.
Ooh, I still have both of my Finding Nemo tickets and my Bruce Almighty. I do.
Maybe you saw it
do not
twice. It
remember.
wouldn't surprise me if you saw it twice.
I
There you
did see it
go. That's
twice.
Probably why.
And-
I
and
saw
that's-
Bruce Almighty.
And that's what contributes to this number. So, adjusted for inflation from 20 years ago, Finding Nemo made $1,357,000,000. But now, for Toy Story 3, I'm trying to find Toy Story 3. It's not giving me a straight up answer.
So I guess that is pretty on par for these blockbuster films, you know, to hit that $1 billion mark.
But
Mark.
when it came out, Finding Nemo did well, but it didn't make $1 billion worldwide. That's just now. You know.
Okay, so here is a closer one. Incredibles 2 from 2018. Adjusted for inflation, it made $1.241 billion.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so I can see that.
I'm shocked it made that much money.
Oh,
I'm
it
not.
was huge. No, it was
I know it was a
really. It made a
15-year
ton
long
of
wait
money.
for the sequel, but
Yeah.
it just wasn't great. Like the reviews weren't. I don't know.
But like that movie opening weekend, it did like it.
I was
60%
there.
of its budget was like
Yeah.
opening weekend.
I was there.
It smashed. I think like opening weekend, it must have made like $200 million domestic easily. You know.
So
Yes.
with all of this inflation talk and all of the ticket sales, yada yada, I guess it's safe to say that can we keep relying on these prices? I mean, we're adjusting for inflation, and it seems like these box office hits are hitting right up there. But at the same time, those films have been out much longer. So it has that lifespan.
So are we
to
saying
get
that
more
Mario
money.
is the success that the numbers claim it to be?
I think so.
I think it is. All right.
I don't know if you need the ticket numbers to justify that because it's already hit it and it's been out for.
It's been out a month now.
Yeah.
People have seen it multiple times. Probably some people.
I have. I've seen it
Okay.
3 times now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Katie equates for 3 ticket sales. In the
That's
greatest
right.
team.
All right, but I mean, numbers wise, it did well. It's done well. They're
Yeah.
gonna make sequels.
Yeah.
So I think
What will
all in all, we need the time span that the movie has been out for, and the inflation thing.
I know that I'm kind of the outlier on how popular Mario is. I mean, I thought it was good, but not great. I thought it was
Right.
actually okay, not even good. But
You know what? Just be honest. You hated its guts.
No,
You
I
want to
didn't hate
stomp
its
on it.
guts.
You want
I
to
didn't-
spit on its grave.
I'm just saying, at the end of the like, people are probably gonna remember Finding Nemo more than they'll ever remember Super
Well,
Mario.
yeah. Duh.
No one was claiming that it was Finding Nemo, Brian. No one claimed
Not
that.
one person. Not
Everyone
one
claimed
person.
that
I'm
it was
just
just a
saying.
fun
So at the end
movie.
of the day, Mario might make a ton more money,
Yes.
but
Oh yes.
Nemo, is a peasant, a poor little fish that
And you
won
gotta,
our
yeah,
hearts.
you also have to think
Won
about the
my
material, the subject matter. Finding Nemo is about fish in the ocean. Mario is a huge corporation, pumped out thing to a bunch of different people who have been taken up under its wing throughout the years. So it has had time to build a fan base. So like, I guess now you got to be looking at like Star Wars movies coming out. It's had 40 plus years to build its fan base, like
hey,
Mario.
fish have fans too. Okay.
They have
Fish are friends, not food. I think a good thing to measure would be the first Guardians movie versus how this third one does.
Yeah, it picked up fans along the way. Because I
Yeah.
didn't see the first Guardians movie in.
I
Or-
know
I
or
don't
you
even think
can-
I saw the second Guardians movie in
You-
theater.
I
but
think the
I
box
got picked
office
up.
wasn't as big for this Guardians 3
No.
compared to the other ones.
Oh,
You
Guardians
could-
3 is so good.
You could
But that
probably,
happens with part 3s all the time.
yeah.
All the time.
Except Lord of the Rings.
Except Toy Story.
And except Last
Right.
Crusade.
So does it really happen for threes? It seems like we're saying except,
Congratulations,
except.
you played yourself.
Well, is there anything else left to be said?
No, I think that was a pretty good conversation, and I'm glad we had it.
Yeah.
So I think we're all better for it.
Let us know what you think down in the comments below. How do you feel about it? How should we measure the success of films?
feel about it.
Yeah, I don't know. After talking about it, I'm still like, I feel like we should measure it all the ways. Because it's a little bit confusing. But let us know what you thought down in the comments. And also, if you enjoyed this film, oh, Gosh. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like, hit that subscribe button. Now you're not going to because I effed it up. But anyway.
Whoa, there's that one F-bomb. One F-bomb.
His F-bomb was so, like, why did you need to say it? But it was still so funny. It cracked me up. I was like, there it is! He said it! He said the thing!
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, talk to us down in the comments. Remember, we also have a Discord channel now. Please join it. We would love to hang out with you guys. And, yeah, we've got Brian in this corner.
Hello, subscribe everybody.
Yeah, good.
We've
got Brian in this corner. We've got Casey in this corner.
Mario movie for Best Picture. Woo!
Okay.
Yay! I don't think that would happen. Oh my gosh.
It's better than whatever nonsense you said.
Okay. And I'm Ileana, your host, signing off on yet another episode of Bump That. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you in next week's video. Bye-bye!